Good afternoon, everybody. This is Ekta Saigal Malhotra. You're at the Motherhood Club talk show. Today, our guest is a mother, a lecturer, an artist, and a curator for beautiful bookmarks, posters, and paintings. Above all, she's a mother of two beautiful twin girls, 6 years old twins, very different from each other. One is the chirpy, the other is the empathetic. One is very witty and the other is very serious at their respective age, but bonded with love. Both of them are absolutely inseparable, and together they, what do I say? They create beautiful stuff, whether it is stories, it is videos, cooking, or anything. So you can imagine when these young 6 years old girls are so versatile and talented, how talented and versatile the mother is. And that, for all of us today, is Lakshmi Narendra, who believes as a lecturer that education is not confined to classrooms. It is a holistic approach and exactly what she's been trying to do as a mother. The topic that she has chosen today to talk about is something that many of us would resonate with because when you become a mother, multitasking is your second name. And she has actually belled the cat and says when multitasking got real. So welcome Lakshmi to the Motherhood Club talk show. And indeed, for you, the
Thank you,
multitasking,
Ekta.
for you, the multitasking is not once but
Yeah,
twice because there are two twins, and both are very, very different.
yeah, I know.
So it would be absolutely amazing to one hear about yourself
Mm.
and to share your journey and what is it that you had in mind when you chose the topic that when multitasking got real. So over to you, Lakshmi.
Yeah, thanks, Ekta. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And till I had these girls, I mean, we ran. I used to randomly throw around this word multitasking every time. I mean, anything. If at all I'm doing two things at a time, I used to call it multitasking. But I actually knew what was multitasking when I had them in my hands because it's just not doing two jobs at a time. You need to like plan much ahead, even if it's like a half an hour outing initially. I remember, when we used to travel even from Bombay to Kerala, we had like 12, 14 bottles, the milk bottle. Yeah, so and we used to like put each feeds like 3 spoons or 4 spoons, how much ever. We had it in separate containers, and it was like prepping for like, I don't know, some world war we are going for. All the ammunition. Yeah, so it was like a huge the bags and everything we had to carry, and it was like even for a small thing we had to sort of plan much in advance. So that was exactly when I came to know, I came to understand that what exactly multitasking is. A little trivia here is right from childhood, everyone who knows me, they know for a fact that I have wanted twins all my life.
Wow.
So it's right from my childhood. I would tell everyone that I'm going to have twin girls when I grow up. I mean, that time you never know, even before I knew how you have babies, I used to say that. So I thought like, okay, you get it from somewhere, that was the idea. So this is actually the universe conspiring kind of a thing. But when you're a kid, you play with other people's children, and then it's only the good part. And when you have your children and when they are actually twins, then it's a different ball game altogether. So it was the first 3 years, it's a blur. The first 3 years, I don't even have like a proper memory of those years. We've just been working and working and working. So after that, things started getting easier. So whoever asks me, like I have a friend who's she's also got twins. So she asked me, when will all this be like normal? Her kids were 5 months or 4 months. She said everyone said maybe 1 more month, 2 more months. I said they're all, they're all
Right.
keeping in some. Yeah, this is not. It is going to take a lot of time. Probably I don't think if we at this age we trouble our parents. So I don't think this is going to get any better, but at least I think it's going to be bearable once they are like three, 2.5. They understand, and then you can communicate with them. So I
Right.
think then it started getting easier for me. Plus, they started communicating with each other. So then probably, I started getting a breather. But till then, this multitasking thing has been, even now, I mean, everything is, it's together. Yeah. So we have to do multiple things at a time, and it needs a lot of planning. That's the thing.
Right. So yeah, so so it is coming out very loud and clear that if you have to raise children, it is not just कि हाँ जी हो जाता है.
No,
It's
no.
all about planning, and more so when you have twins,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
definitely the planning has to be a lot more because there are
Yeah,
two to
yeah. So
manage.
whoever told me like after 1 month, once the baby 6 months old, no, but once the baby 6 months old, then they start crawling and then you have to run behind them. I mean, it was just getting like the challenges were just new at every stage. So
So
if people tell,
people they just try to make you feel a little better at that moment when you are
yeah,
totally flustered.
yeah,
It's just going to get better, but nobody really tells you that it's not going to get better.
yeah,
It's just
I
going
would
to
have
get difficult.
appreciated if they would have told me the truth.
And that is so true. So,
Yeah,
Lakshmi, of course, multitasking, we'll keep talking about it as we go ahead in the conversation. But a very quick question.
yeah.
They normally say that it takes two to tango. So,
Hmm.
two is over here is to tango, or two is here terrible.
It depends. It depends. There are our tango moments and there are the terrible moments also. But one thing, I don't know if it is like that for all twins, but for them, right from the time like they were born, if one is throwing tantrums and if one has some sort of a problem or not in a mood, the other one, she puts her best foot forward. She is in the best of the behavior. I mean, I don't know, probably she's sensing that, if I have one more to handle, then they've had it, or probably I don't know what it is, but touchwood, luckily till today, both of them together, they've not given me a tough time. It's like one by one after the other. Of course, I am always dealing with one person always, but for them, they're getting a break. They are not always terrible together. So I mean, together they don't throw tantrums, but yes, they have their difficult times. They have problems with me. They have problems with each other also. As you said, they are poles apart. So
Right.
for them to agree on something and to decide even what to play, that is a task. I mean, they take time and then they decide, they fight it out, they discuss, and then finally they arrive at a conclusion ki chalo ye karte hain. So then it's fine. I mean, but that decision making and all the discussion that happens, it's between them mostly, until and unless it's extremely dangerous, I don't intervene. Life threatening situation, then I go. I mean, like they're holding each other by the collar or anything of that sort, then I intervene. But till then, I leave them on their own. They try and sort
Right.
it out. Yeah. So we have
Okay.
both moments. It's not like they're always in the best of their mood. So yeah, but it's good that even if they have the issues and if they are different, they always know that we are together, like we are one. That sort of feeling, it's there inside. So
Right.
whatever happens, they are like a team. they,
This is
they
very good.
yeah, they also don't like allow us to sort of get into their things. They mostly they try and sort it out on their own, whatever it is.
Right.
So we have both. It's both.
Okay. Super.
Yeah, yeah,
Super.
yeah.
That's so normally people say that every child is different, every child is
Yes,
unique, right?
yes.
And parents need to adopt different ways and
Yeah.
styles to manage a child. Now you have two who are
Yes.
like like I said, and you also validated. And of course, my inputs are from you only. That both of them are poles apart, right?
Yes. Yes.
So how do you deal with them when while they don't trouble you together,
Hmm.
but let us say that there is something that you need to explain it to them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
both of them come with a different mindset, both of them
Yeah.
have different characteristics. So how do you deal that? How do you manage that? Because that again is a
Hmm.
very important aspect of parenting and multitasking, because you are trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
explain. Yeah, so how do you do that?
Yeah, yeah, dealing with like because they're of the same age and different personalities. So first of all, right from the beginning, we had this very clear that we shouldn't assume that one packet or one recipe fits for both of them. We shouldn't assume that. Yeah, right from the beginning. So even while naming them, we did not want this Sita Gita kind of a thing. No offense to people who name rhyming. I mean, I have no problem. This is just my take on this.
Right.
I felt, they need not get this impression right from the time they're born that because they've come together, they should get everything same, and not necessary. So this we were very clear from the beginning, because even when we buy toys, not necessarily, if one needs a doctor set, the other one doesn't enjoy a doctor set. So we don't buy everything in twos. So we were very clear on that right from the beginning. And even putting them in school, they are in two different sections. Same school, but they're in different sections. They have different set of teachers, they have different set of friends, because the way they perform in the class, it's different. Like one takes a little time to think, and then she doesn't want to go wrong. The other one, even before the question is complete, she jumps even if it's wrong, but she just wants to answer. I mean, so I didn't want that sort of a competition between both of them. At least, I mean, you have to compete, definitely, but that initially, when in their formative years, I wanted them to understand that one need not be overpowered by the other's personality.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Brilliant.
yeah. So intentionally we have done like these things from our side. We were very clear that we don't want to treat them like carbon copies, just
Right.
be very precise. And of course, even while dealing with them, like even if it is getting a homework done, for example, and that is exactly what everyone says, it's easy, you can just make them do together. But no, I've never been able to make them do homework together, because one needs a little extra time for maths, the other one needs a little extra time for the language. So if I sit with maths, what happens is the first one probably she completes it fast, and the other one she takes time, uh, and vice versa for the other subjects. So in that case, I have to allot two different time slots for both of them. Uh, so that has been a practice right from the beginning from our side, and of course from their side also. They have shown that we cannot like accept similar treatments from their personality. Not that they've demanded, but their personality speaks for it. So I've never been able to treat them like together. So even if there's an issue or anything I need to talk to them about, it has been always individually, until and unless they've done some prank together and both of them needs like a good hearing from me, then, then it's okay. But otherwise, like for certain things, I have to call aside, and then speak. Especially for one of the twins, she needs that kind of like personal, and she doesn't like when I speak serious things in front of other people, or she wants that even if it's her sister, she wants that alone time and discuss it out with me. It might be like a very small thing, like, but even then,
Right.
yeah. So it is that is exactly why everything takes twice the time, um, because
I mean, really, hats off to you, to manage two children of the same age.
because
And,
right from the time I've put them in school, I've been hearing this a lot. Everyone tells me you're really complicating things for you. Put them in the same division. You can save time. Because now, if it's online classes, they have to log in at two different times, which means my day is completely packed. They
correct.
get a break, but then for me, I have to be around. Though they have managed to, unmute and muting, they've learned that basic etiquettes, but still you need to be around. Grade one, how much can they? So though I don't have to sit with them, so I have heard this a lot, that I am unnecessarily, complicating things for me, or probably I can get it done easily, but I am complicating. But I don't feel so. I strongly believe that they deserve that, at least. Just because they came together, you can't just put them together for everything. I mean, I don't think it's fair on them also.
No, but that's a very while I do agree that it may
Yeah.
be very time consuming for you,
Yeah.
but in terms of shaping them up,
Yeah.
especially as you rightly said, in the formative years,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if the competition is dwelled into them at home itself,
Yeah. True.
where the other person starts feeling the pressure that, oh, she's good in a subject and I am,
Exactly.
then
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole the concept learning
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
completely go out of the. And I'm sure you yourself being a an educationist,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely understand that, how each child needs
Hmm.
their own space and attention to do this.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So
So
which is,
yeah.
I think, really commendable, like really hats off to you. Um,
Thank you. Thank
with one, with dealing with one on the online class is quite a
Yeah, yeah.
lot, because, that takes away so much of your time and energy.
It does, it does.
You're doing it for two.
Hmm.
Wonderful. So, while, both of them are very different,
Hmm.
right? And their names are also not rhyming.
Hmm.
They look identical, pretty much the same.
Yeah, technically they are fraternal, though they look similar. Yeah, they look similar, but they're
Yes.
actually fraternal twins. Yeah.
So have they ever played a prank on you, in terms of
Not on
confusing you
me,
who?
but then they do that with the others. I mean, when somebody asks them who's Kalyani, so Nirupama says I'm Kalyani, and they do that with the others now.
But you are clearly able to identify who's
I
who.
have mistaken them initially from the back a couple of times, and then I'm like, oh my god, what did I do? Because I was very proud that I would never get them wrong. But from the back, a couple of times I have called Kalyani in place of Nirupama. It has happened, but now because their tooth have started falling, and that's a very clear demarcation. One has more teeth falling than the other, so now it's okay. But initially, I had that. There was a phase when they were looking very much similar. It keeps evolving though. But yeah, a couple of years back, there was that like a 6 months, 7 months period when they were looking very similar. So
Hmm.
yes, then I have got confused. But they play this prank with other people now. They asked me like one day for the online class. One asked me, "I'm too tired. Can you just ask Kalyani to go and sit?" I mean, and I said, "She's a teacher won't understand." I said, "Teacher won't understand, but I know, right?" So you have. So so that's there. They try that.
Right.
Yeah.
So has any one of them taken the artistic skills from you?
Nirupama shows a lot of interest in generally, if someone's coming home, if she knows, like now today her father's coming after a week. So then the moment she knows, she immediately goes, she makes a card. And now since they're learning spellings, so every spelling that she knows, she wants to put it on the card. So somehow she'll
Okay.
make it into that theme. And they tried making a couple of bookmarks. So for her dad, I mean, her dad has brought bookmarks from her, not from me. so Nirupama has that kind of, she is more into art, and Kalyani is more into storytelling. She likes, she likes to like do that, in she's a people's person. So she likes it when there are people around, and then she gets a lot of applauses, that appreciation. It matters for her. While for the other one, she's more into like her space, and she wants to draw or write or read. That's her area of interest. And mostly, we also try that. We are not a very toy buying parents, so we don't actually they have cycle, and then probably a kitchen set and a doctor set. That is all they have, and blocks, building blocks. Apart from that, I have not bought many toys. One thing, it's good because they have company, so their main thing is role play. Role play is what they enjoy the most. Either it's doctor patient, or teacher student, or mummy papa, or whatever. That is their main time pass. And even otherwise, I think we should allow them to get bored. I mean, they should get bored.
Yes.
Children should get bored. We shouldn't take it upon us as a pressure to keep the child entertained 24/7. Probably because my children have company, I can say that. I mean, my other friends who have one child, they say it's not possible always, because ultimately the child turns to the parents. Where else will they go? I agree. But for them, they have company. And sometimes I allow them to get bored, because out of boredom, a lot of creativity comes out. कुछ डब्बा उठा लिया, या फिर some bubble wrap or ढक्कन, anything they will just pick up. And then probably while we were shifting from Qatar, we had a lot of cardboard boxes and all these lying at home. So they picked up a lot of old bottles and all these things, and they made a small puppet show, and then they invited us to watch it. Yeah, so it was all done from waste. I mean, they did not have any other resources, because we had shipped everything. So the last couple of days, they were just playing with these empty bottles and cardboard boxes. So I think it's good in a way if we allow children to get bored, because you actually know, you get to know what their interests are, and they come out with like amazing ideas that we are not able to think of, because we are always preoccupied, right? They don't have much to think about. They just live in the moment, and they are always there. Children are very all children, I believe, the observation level is very high compared to us, so they grasp everything.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
Lakshmi. I completely agree with you
Yeah,
that if
even for
you,
1 year, I believe, she must be very observant. I mean, children are,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
so in your case, as you rightly said, that both of them have company and being of the same age, that their that mental makeup or the mental level is pretty much the same.
yeah,
But even as a solo child, I
hmm,
would say, like when I do my calls,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I would give her options that look,
hmm,
you have your blocks or your puzzles or what do you want to do. So many a time she will come up and say that I don't want to do the blocks and the puzzles. You give me my
hmm,
drawing book.
huh,
So
huh,
I'll give her her drawing book, and this is your learning how to outline. So I give it to her, and she'll she'll draw something random,
hmm, hmm,
and then she'll color it, she'll outline it, and then when I ask her, she'll give me a description to it. So
yeah, yeah,
that is letting the imagination go wild,
true,
and
true, true.
uh, but I completely resonate with this thought that it is very important to let the child be, uh, you know, unoccupied, or just
Yes,
let the child be to do something what he or she wants to.
yeah, yeah, because that is
Because
when the best creations come
yes,
out. Yeah,
like just to share with you,
yeah,
yesterday she was sitting and I was wanting to take a nap, and I told her, I said, okay, she doesn't, you don't want to sleep, fine, you do what you feel like. So she was drawing something,
hmm,
and it was very peaceful for 10 minutes, and I was wondering what this girl is up to. So I just
because
from the
that is the
corner,
trigger.
yeah, so from the tip of the eye I saw what she was doing. So she was drawing something, she drew something, then she had a thinking mind. So what she was trying to do is she was trying to recollect one of her class drawings that the
Huh,
teacher had made her do, and
okay.
she recreated it in its
Hmm,
entirety.
yeah, yeah.
And many a times kids sham away from things that
Hmm,
I can't do it, I can't.
hmm, hmm,
But she just recreated the whole thing. And
hmm.
then I asked her, what are you doing? Then she said that, I'm making this, I'm making this, I'm making
Huh,
this.
huh.
And also, I remember once, I mean, I'm not a very, well, the impression that a lot of people get that I'm very creative, but my creativity is very limited on certain things. So painting is not really my cup of tea. So one day I just give her a paintbrush and paint
Hmm,
that, paint this. And I mean, Lakshmi, you yourself paint so beautifully, but I was amazed the kind of color combination, the strokes that
hmm.
she did, and for good 45 minutes, uninterrupted, this girl painted.
Because
And
they don't have any inhibition. I mean, they don't have this fear of going wrong. So
not
for
just
them,
that,
it's, yeah,
their mind is a blank canvas.
true, true. And a lot of things they must have picked it up from somewhere. I mean, probably they're not able to explain from where, but it would have been in their mind or back of their head somewhere, some combination somewhere they saw, like it could be on a tree or anywhere, and then it just comes out when in
Correct.
situations like these, it just comes out. Yeah. So if
Absolutely.
that happens, I think only when the child is left free for a while, rather than keeping them engaged all the time. Because I see a lot of parents. I am no expert to speak on this, but I'm just saying from what I'm seeing. A lot of parents, they're taking a lot of pressure in keeping the child occupied, because especially now during the lockdown, already we have online classes. There is a particular screen time for the child. On top of it, like unnecessarily burdening the child with a lot of extra classes. And of course, apart from academics, one a class once in a while is fine, but I think like to pack the child's routine and schedule with such so many online classes, and I think it's not fair on
Yeah.
the child. I think they should be left free, so because they need that time also.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, coming back to the multitasking aspect, and you mentioned that since both are very different, and your way of managing is very different. So
Hmm.
and you're very clear in your mind that both are made to study the respective subject at a different time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so when one is being taught, how
Hmm.
do you deal with the other one?
Yeah,
How do you keep that other active child engaged?
Yeah, so actually, I got this tip from my cousin. She also has twin girls. So while she was teaching, that time I wasn't married also. But then once we visited them, and I saw she was teaching them in two different rooms. One was doing a math homework in one room, the other one was doing EVS homework. So when I asked her, that's when she told me, like they pick up differently, and then it's difficult when both of them are taught together. So here, in my case, usually what I do is the other time, probably they have some coloring to do, or maybe some reading exercise to do, or projects nowadays. Schools give a lot of projects like what the child can do on their own, not like the huge ones, but probably cutting and pasting and all that. So I cut it up for them, and then they do the pasting. So while I'm concentrating on one child, the other one is mostly left free to do such works, like
Right.
probably coloring and sticking, the art craft homework and all that. Or otherwise even free, I'll just ask her to clean the room. So cleaning room is they actually enjoy cleaning their room. It definitely it will need another cleaning from my side, but cleaning for them it's like setting it up for some party or something. So they pick up all cushions available, they put a lot of towels here and there, and then they make some flowers and hang it here. So they enjoy doing that together. They pretend as if there's some party happening. So I ask her to go and do something like that, and then the other person, they'll do it on their own while I'm concentrating, because while I'm teaching concepts like if it's addition, subtraction, I know those concepts, they need a little concentration. I can't
Right.
like just do it quickly. So that is when I need one-on-one time with one child. So then the other one gets to do the fun stuff.
So
But
when do
they, yeah.
you get time for your own self? Amidst all
I
of this.
yeah, usually when their online classes are going on, I sit on the other end of the table and then I do my work. And once, even after their classes in the evenings, that's when I do mine. So yeah, but I had taken like a long break after when they were born, because paints, of course, they're toxic and you can't have them around kids. And it was difficult for me to keep an eye on both of them, what they were picking and eating. That age when they would pick and put anything in their mouth. So I was a little scared of these paints and stuff going into their mouth. So I had stopped for a while, but now they understand. I mean, they have their set of watercolors, they have their set of brushes. They know that this is mama's and they're not allowed to touch these papers and these paints. But of
Right.
course they say that once they tried my paint and then say this works differently on the paper, this looks better on the paper, you are giving us bad quality paint. I said, you need one box paint for one day, I can't afford to give you my paints for that.
But see, they are able to understand the texture, the
Yes, yes,
quality,
yes. That's
which in
with
itself is a huge learning for them.
yeah. That's with Nirupama because her interest is in painting. So she
As
knows
well.
like my paper and my paint is of a different quality. Hers is of a lesser quality. She feels that. So I said that's because you need a lot more than me. I cannot buy so much for you. So you learn on this. I said even when I was in school, I used to use these paints. Now because I'm giving it to others, I have to use good. So that's why. So she says, okay, fine. I mean, we have reached an understanding on that. But they know that But I teach
True.
them, yeah, separate timings. That is that I have always practiced that spellings and things like that. I do it together. Like while they are playing, I just keep reading it in the background. I might also be doing my thing, and probably I'll just keep repeating the spellings, and then they grasp it. I don't want to like make them sit down and learn everything. Even while they're playing, I would ask them a couple of addition and subtraction, and then I'm okay. I'm satisfied with that. I'm not very particular that timetable kind of a 5 to 5:30 maths. I'm not that kind of a
Right.
person.
Person.
I try to do it in between their stuff so that they also don't get bored because I'm the only person they're seeing, since lockdown. So I don't know and how long it's going to continue. So we have to maintain that peace at home.
Quite right. In fact, that was my next thing that I wanted to ask you. That
Yeah.
not only do you have twins, but little basis a conversation that we've had, and I believe your husband is working in a different location than where you are staying today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so how of course, I'm sure the answer is very straightforward that it is not all that easy.
No. Yeah.
But how do you manage that balance with the children? When they are only seeing you and
Hmm.
the father is away working,
Hmm.
How does that happen? Does that in any way impact their relationship with the father? Because then
Mm,
there are three musketeers together, and then the fourth one
yeah,
is of the
yeah,
opposite gender
yeah.
comes
Of
in.
course. I mean, when he's not around, definitely they miss him. That's for a given. But they also know that it is. I mean, there's no other way than to accept it. So initially when while we were in Bombay, 1 year we were on our own and he was away with the project. So initially it was difficult because they were just 4.5 years old and they did not understand like why Papa is not around, because he used to I had to go to college around like 6:45, 6:50. I used to leave home, and he used to be the one who used to drop him at the school. And then once he went, my help, I used to have a help, and she was the one who used to drop them at school. So they did not basically understand why is she dropping us? Why can't Papa be there? I mean, that routine had changed for them. So it was difficult for them. I mean, they used to cry, they used to throw tantrums, they used to give some other reason, but probably they had this in their mind and they would cry, they would be upset with me. All that happened initially. Now they know that he will come and he will go, but whenever he's around, like it's like full vasool. They make use of him maximum, and they have a quality time, because he even though I spend full time with him, he is the one who picks up their general characteristics and these minute things. He picks it up very fast, and then he hints, like probably this is what she's thinking now, and he tells me. So they have a very very beautiful connection. Yeah, yeah. So today
Okay.
he's coming, and that's why they're very excited,
Excited.
because yeah,
I'm
he
sure.
hadn't traveled and he was on, he was taking a 1 week. He is here, but then he had gone out of station, so he just wanted to, now you of course have to take a break and then come back home. So he just got himself tested and all that, and now he's coming back. So then they are quite excited with that.
Super, super. So we have Sangeeta Venkatesh who's saying that both KNN are so unique, and hats off to you, to nurture them in the way that they should be. So,
Thank
for a
you.
lot of people who, get into the mode of comparison
Hmm.
with
True.
children of,
Yes.
children of other parents, vis-a-vis
Yes.
your own.
Hmm.
Here is a mother who's
Hmm.
not even comparing her two own children, born on at the same time,
Hmm.
because they both are very different from each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Yet they
That
are
that
bonded and connected.
Yes, yes.
So
That
that
was a very clear decision, because that comes to us naturally. This thing, because it is conditioned. I mean, we have faced it, so it's there somewhere in our head, and you have to sort of unlearn it, because you have gone through, these kind of comparison. You have seen all these things happen. It is there in your head, and probably even without thinking, such sentences, it phrases, it might slip out of your tongue, and it's very natural for that to happen.
right,
So it is actually a task to not do that, and we were very conscious about it, that we wouldn't. And we cannot control what other people think and what other people say, so we are also very particular in telling both of them and talking to them that no matter what people say, you are good at what you do, and you just need to continue doing that. I mean, even if somebody is asking, wow, look at your drawing, and why can't you draw that? So you don't even need to answer that, number one. And secondly, you don't have to take it into your heart, because they don't know you, and they might just say, and probably they didn't even mean it. So even before they actually started understanding it, we were very clear on that from our side. We know how to deal with it, and we know how to control that and not to say things like that. But other people, we cannot always, of course, we can't go with them everywhere, so they will have to
absolutely,
face it. And we cannot tell the whole world to shut up. So people will say, be it in
absolutely.
school, friends, teachers, neighbors, people will say that. So we always keep on talking to them about it, like not like very serious, sitting them down and talking, but in random conversations also, we try to put this into their head. It's like a sort of conditioning. We try to, even without them knowing, we put it into their head that it doesn't matter.
True,
So
true.
we do that consciously, because I have seen a lot of siblings, in their childhood, having been exposed to such kind of comparisons, and later on, their personality getting affected. also not having a good relationship with their the other sibling, probably for the no fault of the sibling, but it happens, and I didn't want that. We both of them, we didn't want that to happen between K and N. So this has been a very conscious attempt, not easy though, but we consciously do that. Like we try to put it into their head, and from our side,
Precisely.
yeah.
And we have Aparna saying that that's one of the reasons why they have their own unique personality, because you never forced it upon them. You
No,
let them be the way they
yeah,
should be, or they
yeah,
want to be.
yeah.
And I'm sure it must be an absolutely fantastic journey. To see these two young girls shaping up in their own ways, so different yet similar. After
Yes.
all, they're getting the same upbringing. Because
Hmm.
your upbringing doesn't change based on the
Yeah.
personality. It is only the sorry, the
Only
way
the
you deal,
strategy, only the
only the
strategy
strategy
changes.
changes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
the end product is always the same. Yeah.
yeah, the life skills, the basic
Yes.
values that you're imbibing in them is pretty much
Hmm.
the same. It is
True.
up to them how they are able to imbibe that in their own system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that is so true. Wonderful. So Lakshmi, share some interesting. I'm always very intrigued to talk to mothers who have twins, because you know with one you have fun,
Hmm.
obviously, but with
Hmm.
two the fun also enhances double fold, and more so if they are twins of the same age, because it's just, I don't know, somehow I find it very fascinating. So um, any incident that you would like to
I
share?
can tell you of one incident that I would I had once shared it on our sari group also long ago. That I will never forget that, because one of them, she's a good athlete. I mean, not very good, but in comparison with the other, I'm not. I just spoke of comparison and then I'm saying that word, but I'm saying her interest, like. K is not very much into sports, and N likes sports and running and all that. So they had, while they were in their play group, they had this sports day, and then there's some pick and run or something that all children have to participate. That's like there's no selection or anything; all children participate. And then there's one running race in which they have the selection in the school, and 5 of them are picked for the main event. So N was selected, and their sports day is actually three of their branches merged together, and then they conduct it together. So it is actually not their teachers or maushis who actually take them for the race, because they have all the maushis from all branches. So they have the name or probably something pinned up. They have their branch or roll number, something pinned on their sleeves, and then the maushis take them. But what happened here was N was supposed to run the race.
They took K.
Yeah. And the moment they brought her in the line and I was up in the stands, there was no time for me to, run down and go and tell them. And Kay was trying to explain, but probably even the Mashi, she was very busy. And in that crowd and cheer, probably she also couldn't hear. And her teacher was also not around. As I said, it was a combined thing. So they kept her on the track and she didn't know where to run, because she was not, was not given practice for that. And I could see N sitting in the stands, all frown, because she was looking forward to this race so much. So that was one. And then after the race, I went and said, this mix up has happened. And then they apologized. But, that was one funny thing I will never forget, because yeah. N was looking forward to this race so much. But instead, K was put in the track and she was like, Zabardasti ka dauda rahe hain mujhe, she was not even interested.
So another common friend, Sangeeta, the other Sangeeta,
Yeah,
Stacey,
yeah.
the moment you started off, she immediately said the sports day goof up. So that story,
Yeah, I had
everybody
shared it there.
remembers that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
remembers that.
True,
Excellent,
true.
excellent.
So that is one thing I will never forget. Hmm.
Right. So, Lakshmi, that's the fun part of it, right? But as a mother of twins,
Hmm.
have there been any challenges that you have faced? And, whenever or whichever challenge that you face, how do you deal with that? See, because, with one,
Yeah,
obviously, everything just gets doubled with two children.
yeah, yeah.
And of the same age, obviously, the magnitude also intensifies with
Hmm.
them.
Hmm.
So, any challenge that you faced and how you dealt with it?
Yeah, my challenge basically started after I got I always say getting pregnant was very easy for me. It was after that, the first 3 months were very smooth. I conceived naturally. The first 3 months went very easy. But after that, I had a lot of complications and I was put on hospital bed rest for the rest of the months. And they were born premature in the seventh month. So my pregnancy, as such, it has been like very painful and filled with all those tensions. And I hope you understand that it's like I, they were not even sure of the one of the twins making it. So that fear, it is just it had affected me so much that even after they were born, for me to trust them with another person was very difficult. And I mean, I wouldn't say that's a good thing, because you are unnecessarily causing trouble for yourself. And it was then, a couple of cousins of mine, because we have a lot of twins in the family, and people started telling me that you should take help. I mean, which whoever helps you, probably changing a diaper or whatever, you shouldn't have this thing in your head that I want to be like the super mom, or that just break that. And even if you take help in raising your child, it doesn't make you less of a mom. So this is one thing that I had always found. Initially it was very difficult for me to trust them with. I had a help with me, and it was difficult for me to, even if she took them to the loo, I would feel, oh my god, where did she take them? I because it was that fear, when it started when I got pregnant, because it was this fear of losing them. It just grew so much in me. And then I felt this is not right, because probably I am also causing trouble for my children by being this scared mom all the time. And it's no fun around me. It's always this tension and worry, and I thought it was not a good thing. And that was when I thought I should start, I should get back to work, um, because that will give them time, it will give me time. And it was important for me um, to at least it was important for me to convince myself that even if I'm not around, nothing is going to happen. I mean, there are certain things
They'll
for
be
which
fine.
only I should be there. I mean, there are certain things that I have to do, but there are so many things that so many people can do. And if I can take help, then why not? So that was one main challenge that I had to overcome, and that was exactly why when they were like 2.5, I decided that I should get back to work, and then things started getting easier for me. Because otherwise, even if going down to get grocery, I would get panic. I would think, what if I get stuck in the lift and then I don't come back home on time? And then these kind of thoughts, it was just too much, even if they were on the slide. And I thought it was not correct, even for the children to see a worried mom all the time. So I think getting back to work, sort of course, the responsibilities added up, the work added up, but I think it has just done good for all of us, because at least I started trusting other people with my children. And then I also understood that um, there's nothing wrong in getting help. If there are people who are ready to help you, then why not? Might as well,
True.
yeah, because there is nothing like a super mother. I learned it. I understood that no matter whatever you do, something to kuch to chut jayega na. You can't be like that perfect. There's no point in trying also. Like, so whatever. Yeah.
Actually, in that imperfection lies the
Yes.
the beauty of the whole thing, or the
True.
journey becomes,
Yeah.
because if it is absolutely perfect, then there
Yeah.
is no fun to it. How would
Yeah.
you make it better?
Exactly.
But
Exactly. Yeah. So.
but since you said that phase continued till they were about 2.5 years
Yeah.
old,
Yeah.
so did that have any overbearing impact on them while they were very small? But
No,
do you
I knew that it was not correct to it was not correct for them to sense my fear. So I would hide it, and I didn't want my parents to know that I am like, even if my parents would take them down to the garden, I'm like, okay, they'll be fine, right? So I didn't want them to feel bad, and I didn't want them to see that thing, but it was there in me. I mean, even if I didn't show it, or I wouldn't express it, but it was there inside me that they will only be fine if I was around. So I may not have explicitly shown it to them or anybody, but it was like something I had to deal within me. And that happened once I started, as I told you, when I got back to work. So it didn't have an impact on anyone as such, because I did not like show it. It wasn't very evident. But I knew deep down, I had this thing in my head that, only I can do it. So
So what impact did it have on you during that time?
so
How, and how did you realize that, by you work going to work will
mm,
make a difference to you, because that was a huge decision.
yes,
Leave
yes,
two children together
yeah.
and go to work. So what was that, that entire time, the emotions that you went through, and how did the entire transition happen?
Yeah, it was, I mean, I'd like to think of it like, something dramatic happened, but to be honest, my friend, she called me and said, there's an interview happening in so and so college, why don't you just walk in? And I had no intention of working at that point, but then I thought, okay, fine, just since she said, I might go. And then I thought, okay, probably I was on a break, so maybe I don't stand much of a chance. And then I just went in. But then they asked me, it was a Saturday, and they said, join on Monday. So then I think one thing is they did not give me time to think. uh, they said join on Monday, and I didn't have time to think. That was one. And secondly, my help, I will, even today, Kalyani says her favorite person is Vaishali. She was my help in Bombay. So she told me, Didi, sab theek ho jayega. I'm there, no, don't worry. It was actually her, the kind of push that she gave me. She said, Ki, don't worry. I mean, by then it was almost 2.5 years since she was with us. So I knew her also, sort of. So then the kind of I don't know. Once it happened, and then I thought, okay, fine. Now, and because I didn't get time to think, to be honest, if they had given me 1 month or something, I would have ducked out probably. But then, since I didn't have time, I thought, chalo, I'll just try it out, and then I tried, but it worked. And then Saturday again was a working day for me. So they didn't have school. So they would be at home the entire time. So that was again a worry. But I think that was also good because they were with my husband at that point of time. And then the bond between them was also, it just got better. Ekta, just a second. Can I just take an important call? Just a second. I'm sorry.
Sure,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sure. So here this mother is talking about her journey with two twin girls, very different in characteristics and personalities. And she, as a mother, realized that it is very important to hone their personalities in the way that a particular personality needs to be, rather than, imposing her viewpoint that, okay, both of you need to be like this. She has let them nurture the way they should, with no comparison, with no imposition of that, if one is doing this, the other one has to do that, imparting the same set of values, the same set of skills, and letting each one of them identify their area of interest. Fears as a mother that she had with regards to having premature children, because most often than not, twins are born premature. And with the tough journey that she had, that fear continued till the children were 2.5 years old. And what came to her rescue was that she started to work again. And from there, we're going to continue back with Lakshmi.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, my husband, yeah, he's just come, so I had to open the door.
no issues, and completely understandable.
Yeah.
So, perfect. So, so that means, when you started to work, it made a difference. And I'm sure that would have also made a huge impact on your mental well-being, and
Yes.
probably the environment around the house would have also changed.
Yes, yes, yes. And plus for the children also, they started being more independent, and
Independent.
yeah, yeah. They knew like there are a lot of things that they could do on their own, and then they started finding their own interests. And so on the whole, it was a very good change for all of us. Yeah.
True. Wonderful, wonderful. So, Lakshmi, indeed, it was very, very interesting to hear your journey. And very, very, like I always say, that it is not always that you need to have a tough journey. Because a lot of people, when I speak to them, that if they would like to come and talk about their journey, everybody sees that my journey has been very simple and normal. Well, a journey of a mother is always simple, yet
Yeah.
very challenging and complicated. there are those subtle challenges that we face, which makes it very interesting and yet
Yes.
very, very difficult to deal with at times. So, I believe that every mother is an inspiration. Every mother has something unique to offer, because what is her style, she may share, but it cannot be copied by anybody. It
True.
is
Yeah.
why? Because every mother is unique, every
Every
child
child
is
is young.
unique.
Yes.
But
Yes.
one can always pick up some input
True.
from here and there and see how you can blend it with the grooming and the nurturing that you are offering to your children.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly why
yeah,
yeah, because when you asked, I was a little nervous because there isn't much. I thought I don't have much of an experience to speak about my journey or anything. But as you said, yes, it's all a learning and just sharing my experiences and and a fun
absolutely,
time talking to you. Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. So, it would be very, very unfair for me to keep Lakshmi away from her husband, who's come back after a week, and to keep her away from her two beautiful girls. So, Lakshmi, thank you so much for talking,
thank you, Ekta, thank you so
to
much.
us and being here. For all of you, I have already shared, in brief what Lakshmi was sharing
Yeah,
while she was attending to an important call. And we will continue to have, more and more inspiring and interesting journeys of mothers. Anyone who's keen to be on our show, please be my guest. So you could leave a comment on the Facebook group, or you can get in touch with me at 9971477004. So thank you once again, Lakshmi. It
thank
was
you,
indeed a
thank you.
pleasure talking to you. So till we
Same,
meet
same here.
again,
Yeah, same here, Rekta. You're doing a fabulous job. So it's just wonderful because each an interview, it's each talk with different people. Everything is unique, and the takeaway from each talk show is different. So you're doing a fabulous job.
thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
So, all right, everybody, see
Thank you.
you all very soon with yet another journey of a mother. Till then, stay
Bye.
tuned. This is Ekta Sehgal Malhotra signing off at the Motherhood Club Talk Show. Thank you. Take care, Lakshmi.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
great
You too.
evening.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.